The whole relationship you have with the things you buy, it's being completely re-engineered. Right under our noses, a huge shift is happening, and it's turning you from an owner into a permanent renter. And you gotta know, this is no accident. This is a deliberate design.
So it all comes down to this one question. Why are the biggest companies in the world so obsessed with selling you absolutely nothing? I mean, not a real product, not an asset you can hold on to, just access. And that access can be taken away at any time. It sounds crazy, right? But here's the kicker. It is by far the most profitable business model ever created. So let's get into the forensics of how this whole thing works.
I mean, you've heard the sales pitch. It sounds amazing, right? They promise you flexibility, a clean, minimalist life, and just total convenience. But let's look at the reality. What you're actually signing up for is a lifetime of bills that never end. You build zero equity, zero ownership, and your access, it can be snatched away at any moment for pretty much any reason they want. This isn't just a new way to pay for things. No, this is the very architecture of taking away your ownership.
Okay, so how do they pull this off? Well, first, we've got to look at the mechanism. And it's not just about money. At its core, it's a really sophisticated psychological engine, one that's built specifically to turn your own brain against you.
The whole trick hinges on hacking this one weird quirk of our brains called the endowment effect. All it means is that we humans place way more value on things just because we feel like we own them. So in a world where you don't actually own anything, companies faced a huge problem. How do you fake that feeling of ownership?
And their solution is genius, in a pretty sinister way, the free trial. You think it's for you to test out their product? Not really. Think about it. Step 1, they give you free access. Step 2, you do all the work. You pour in your time, you customize all the settings, you create your playlists, you teach the algorithm what you like. You weave it right into the fabric of your daily life. So by the time step 3 rolls around and the trial's over, the question in your head has completely changed. It's not, do I want to buy this anymore? It's, can I really handle losing all of this? They've literally weaponized the effort you put in.
And this isn't just a one-off trick. It's a whole playbook, a systematic plan. First, they use loss aversion. The threat of losing all your data, your settings, your history, that keeps you from canceling. Then there's the status quo bias. They know we're lazy, so they make auto-renewal the default and the cancellation process a nightmare to navigate. And maybe the most clever one is mental accounting. That little $9.99 a month fee, it feels like nothing, right? They call it payment anesthesia. It numbs you to the fact that you're actually spending over $100 a year. This goes way beyond business strategy. This is full-on behavioral engineering.
So, okay, we've seen the psychological mechanism, but what's the motive? I mean, why is everybody doing this all at once? The real answer, the driving force behind all of this, it's not found in some focus group. It's found on Wall Street, and it's all about something called valuation arbitrage.
And this, right here, this is the secret key to the entire thing. It's the big aha moment. See, on Wall Street, not all money is created equal. If a company makes $1 selling you a product one time, investors might say that company is worth, say, 1 to 3 times its revenue. But if that same company makes $1 from you every single month, predictably, oh, that's a different story. Investors will value that exact same dollar of revenue 10, even 20 times higher. It's stable, it's predictable, it's basically an annuity. And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, the projected size of this whole subscription economy is $1.5 trillion. A number that big has its own gravity. It's powerful enough to literally bend the entire global economy around it.
So you have to understand, if you're a CEO, your main job is to make your shareholders rich. And when you see that kind of valuation difference, that massive multiplier, the choice is already made for you. The pressure to pivot to subscription becomes completely irresistible. And that's why we see this model being forced onto everything, even products where it makes absolutely zero sense for us, the customer. It's not about user benefit, it's about the stock price, period.
All right, so we have the psychological tools and the massive financial motive. The only thing left was to build the actual system, the legal and technical framework to make sure that not owning things becomes the new normal. For hundreds of years, there's been this core legal idea called the first sale doctrine. It's super simple. Once you buy something, like a book or a CD, it's yours. You can sell it, you can lend it, you can give it away. It's the entire legal bedrock of ownership. Now, for the subscription economy to even exist, this idea, it had to be destroyed.
And you can actually watch it happen on a timeline. The big domino fell in 2010. A court case, Werner v. Autodesk, basically decided that when you buy software, you're not actually buying it, you're just licensing it. And with that one ruling, they completely bypassed the first sale doctrine.
That opened the floodgates. Just 3 years later, Adobe gets rid of its software you could own forever and goes full subscription. Fast forward to 2023, and Sony is straight up telling people it's going to delete movies they purchased right out of their libraries. The idea was spreading. This leads to what I call the ransom effect. Take Adobe. If you're a designer and you stop paying that monthly fee, it's not just that you lose access to Photoshop. No, you lose the ability to open your own files, years of your work, your entire portfolio, basically held hostage until you pay up.
And then there's the vanishing library. That whole situation with Sony and PlayStation proved it once and for all. That digital library you've spent years and hundreds of dollars building, it's not an asset. It's a service that can be turned off. That Buy Now button is frankly a lie. You're not buying a movie. You're renting a license that can be revoked whenever they feel like it.
But this is where the logic leaps from the screen into the real world. Remember Google's Revolve smart home hub? People paid $300 for this physical device. But when Google decided to shut down the servers, they sent a remote signal that turned every single one of those hubs into a useless piece of plastic, a brick. It really drives home the point. You might have the physical object in your house, but the company still owns its ability to function. Which brings us to what has to be the most shameless example yet, the paywalled function. BMW actually builds cars with the heated seat hardware already installed. You pay for it when you buy the car. It's in there. And then they try to charge you a monthly subscription to activate it, to turn it on. This is it. This is the end game. You are literally renting a feature of a product that you already own.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. You've got the psychological hacks, the Wall Street money, and now all this real-world evidence. What's the verdict? The conclusion is inescapable. We are actively building a post-ownership society. And this new world, it actually has a name. It's called techno-feudalism. The idea is that we're actually moving beyond capitalism into something new and something very old. The game is no longer about making a profit by creating and selling things. Now it's all about collecting rent. And the land that these new lords control, it's the digital platforms we all live on.
And this really breaks down the change perfectly. Under the old capitalist model, companies profited from production, and you were a buyer. In this new techno-feudal model, they get rich from charging you for access. And you, well, you're basically a digital serf tied to their land. But the most important part is that last line. All the assets, your movies, your software, your music, they're being moved from your personal balance sheet to the corporate one. This isn't wealth creation. This is a massive wealth transfer. Look, the real cost here isn't about the money. It's about autonomy. It's about your freedom. Because when you own nothing, your ability to build an independent life, to imagine a future that you control, it just starts to dissolve. You end up completely dependent on these digital landlords for everything. The tools you work with, the entertainment you consume, even the car you drive. The true danger of owning nothing isn't just an empty bank account. It's the loss of your ability to build your own future.